Welcome to another update on the Vtec estate, or in other words, the classic mini Clubman estate, but it's going to have a Vtec Lump in the front. The updates have been a bit scarce on this car purely because of life going on, IMM shows and all that, and I hope you enjoyed that video because that took 25 hours of my life. So in this one, what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of welding. I've been practicing on a bit of 0.9 steel. There's a few holes in that, but hey ho, before we actually start welding on the car, we're going to weld on this door. So with these rear doors, they've been really badly repaired. There's bobbles in them, there's rust, and I think they're full of bog. So we won't actually know until we actually grind it out. The bottom is the worst. So we've got two bottom panels, that's the outside piece, and we've also got the inside piece. They are Magnum, they might not fit, they might take a bit of fettling, but it's certainly cheaper than buying new doors because these doors for a pair are £500 plus VAT, and TCR doesn't have £500 to spend on two doors. He'd rather spend it on a Vtec Lump in the front of this car. So we're going to practice the welding, we're going to have a go. It's the first time we've ever really welded this 0.9 steel on a car, but before we mess this up, we'll mess the door up and then it's not really expensive to repair if it goes wrong. However, in this episode, we are going to be letting the lovely Sophie have a go at welding, who's currently holding this camera, and we'll see if she can get the bug for it, which will buy me some more time to spend in this garage. But for now, cue the buttery shots.
Having never done bodywork on a car before, I was keen to learn. And what better way to do this other than the typical TCR way? Throwing myself in at the absolute deep end.
So obviously we've cut this out, the inside is rotten, but that back piece will be getting replaced. So for the time being, this is the outdoor skin. I've cut it slightly short just in case I did it wrong. So we need to grind another line across and draw it. We're going to line the holes up, we're going to tack it across there, and then once that's in place, we're going to put the other one behind it, tack them both together, fold the ends over, and fingers crossed this door should look better than it did in the first place.
Being an absolute amateur at welding, I was always told your welding is only as good as the surface you're welding to. So let's clean the edges and prepare for my first attempt at spitting sparks on the panel of this knackered car.
Right, so the problem we've got is the car's actually on the rotisserie. Now, with it being on the rotisserie, obviously I can't check whether these doors are going to line up. I'm just going to tack it into place and tack the other side, and then we'll try and fit it on the car at another point. This is just solely a welding exercise practice. I have dropped a bit of a ball. There is quite a big gap here that seems to probably will end up causing a problem. So what I might have to do is, it's a bit rough, is put a piece of metal on the back and bridge across between it. So I think that's what we're going to have to do there. But for now, this we can tack that. I've lined it up with the original holes. Now I do know the back piece is original. That's why I've not cut that one off first. So I'm going off those holes, and then we can jig it and see if it'll line up afterwards. But this is just to sort of get used to tacking bits of thin metal basically, because the 3mm stuff's fine. You've got a lot of time to play with that, but with this, it's very thin and it just blows holes for fun. So unless you know what you're doing, which I don't, it's all a trial and error process basically.
Now let's chase the sparks and put some pretty orange puddles onto those panels. It may look buttery, but let's face it, anybody can make welding look good with a camera. However, I do seek your constructive criticism, but before your fingers melt the keyboard, please remember, every day is a school day in the TCR garage.
I've just committed an absolute schoolboy error. I didn't take the clamps off after I tacked it, and I continued welding in different corners. And then when I actually looked at the door, it was wavy. So we've had to unpin it all, take it all back off, clean everything up, get all the welds off. And now we're going to go for attempt 2.
After ballsing it up the first time round, I was eager to correct my mistakes. After all, the only way you learn is by making an absolute pig's ear of things, and I certainly wasn't going to let this minor mishap get in the way. With the grueling task of replacing the floors looming over me this coming weekend, the more problems that hop up now surely would make things easier. Well, I hope so. Anyway, let me take your attention away from my Manc accent and let you enjoy this funky beat.
the door's repaired, it's covered in primer. I'm not actually happy with it, but bear in mind this is the first time I've ever done anything, and I probably will result in just putting a full reskin on the door, but have a closer look. Sprayed a bit of primer on. It's not the best. There is a ridge and a lip there, which, if I can get side on. So I probably will end up reskinning this door because it's going to take a lot of filler work. This side's pretty much bang on, but I don't know what's gone on over here. It's not the best. Now the other side I am quite happy with. This side will have to stay because if we're going to reskin it, then it'll all have to come off on the other side. But I've literally just drilled and plug welded through here, and you can see the penetration is really tucked to that door. This one's seaming across, and when that's done, the inside of the door will be mint. But I do think I'm going to end up putting a full outer skin on because the guy that had it before did some shocking plate work here. I don't know what's gone on there. Right, so now you've seen me weld, well, my failed attempt at welding. It's about time we let the missus have a go at welding because I've got to try and win her over so I can spend more time in the garage working on this Mini for my own comfort, but for your well-being as well, because without her allowing me to do this, there'd be no TCR videos. So right now, I'll introduce you to the missus. So Sophie, I can see you've come dressed for the occasion, of course.
Well, I was dressed like this.
I know. Do you actually go to the gym?
No.
Just to clarify, boys. She doesn't go to the gym like most girls nowadays. You know, they dress for it, but they don't actually do it. I think she's trying to pull without me knowing, but she be doing me a babe.
I definitely want to pull. Any takers out there,
just sell yourself on YouTube. Right, so you ready to have a go at welding?
I'll give it a go.
Right, okay. Do you know what you're doing?
Not got the foggy.
Do you know what welding's for?
Yeah?
What?
To weld pieces of metal together.
For?
A vehicle.
So, Soph, this welding malarkey that's going on here, we're going to let
The
you...
thing that nearly killed me.
No, this was the jig. This is the jig where the cat... We'll throw that clip in again. What? What the f***? How did that just happen? So you've seen the clip. Anyway, this welding malarkey here, we're going to let you have a little bit of a practice down here. So there's a few little spats. Nothing really much, and we're going to let you have a quick go around there. You feeling confident?
Yeah, I think it's going to be better than yours.
What PPE do you need?
Gloves.
Right, so there's your gloves.
Thanks.
Can you slip those? In fact, no, I won't make you struggle. I'll be nice to you. Can you put your helmet on, please? Leave it popped up on your head so we can see what you're doing.
Do you know what? You've actually got a really big head because this doesn't fit.
All right, thank you.
I can't even get
What are you doing? Right.
Say that they want Botox, you really don't. I can't move my head at all.
Sorry, boys, she didn't know how to get the helmet on. She's used to touching helmets, though. Especially my helmet. Right, anyway, gloves, please.
Okay.
Right, and to make a weld, what do you need? You can't just touch the welder onto any random piece of metal. You need something, Soph, and what do you reckon that is?
Spark.
Nope.
You're the spark in
What causes the spark? It is, of course, the earth clamp. So where are you going to clip that if you're going to weld something?
The piece of metal.
Which piece of metal?
This piece of metal.
Why?
Because it's a...
Because that's the piece you're welding. So we'll slide that in there. Ooh, slide it in. Nice and juicy. Innuendos. And then you need the welding gun.
See, I'm left-handed, but do I do it in my right hand?
Oh, right. So are you all ready to see this failed attempt of my missus welding? Just 1 second. I'm trying to work with the TCR audience here. If we can get her to enjoy this, then you get more content. So please drop a comment below if you like seeing my missus in the gym gear. I'm only joking. If you like seeing her welding, I should put some overalls on, but just for the sake of this, there's no point. She might as well just try it. Anyway, let's cut to the welding. So, Sophie, what I want you to do is, I want you to try and draw a straight line across here. Not a diagonal line.
That was mine from the other day.
A straight line. I should clean the metal. It might make it a bit easier, but we're not doing that. A nice straight line across there, please.
Right, what we're doing, straight line?
Yeah, nice straight lines.
I can't even draw a straight line when I'm not welding.
Oh, God. Go on.
That is how you do a perfect straight line.
Is it actually? What the flop on is that?
That is perfect.
No, it's not. Do you want to have another go?
I think
Have another
anyone
go.
that needs help welding...
Try moving it back slower.
This isn't made. Any left-handers out there will realise that doing things with right-handed tools is not the easiest.
Right, you're a tool for doing that. Slower, slower. Let's have a look.
Tom, that's even worse.
Oh my.
That's not even a line.
Right, anyway, I think you've had your temp welding. Watch that gun.
think-
Right, how do you feel about your first welding experience?
I think I'm in trouble, guys.
She's actually broke. She's actually broke, my welder. The nib has welded shut to the welding wire, and I've tried to take it out and it's snapped.
Any tips?
There's no tips. I just need a new spout for my welder, you div.
You need a new girlfriend as well, don't you?
Anyone out there, please help me. But other than that, you know what to do. This video was a pleasure to make. It was a pleasure to edit. It was a pleasure to have Sophie on my side actually having a go at welding. But if you want to see more updates on this Clubman estate, then you need to know what to do, don't you? You hit that subscribe button, you hit that like button, and make sure you do everything in style. See you later.